Hey everyone, we are continuing our discussion this week on our third kingdom culture value, which is making disciples isn't an option. You've probably heard that Jesus, before he left earth to go to heaven, commissioned all of his disciples, all of his followers, to go and make disciples of the nations. It's important to understand that he wasn't just speaking to his disciples as the future leaders of the church. He wasn't speaking to them as apostles. He was speaking to them just as his followers. And he was speaking not just to them, but to everyone who would ever follow him in the future. And so if you are a follower of Jesus, he was speaking to you and he was speaking to me. Making disciples is not some kind of optional, upgraded calling for those who are maybe really serious about being a Christian. Making disciples is the call of every disciple. But of course, in order to make a disciple, you must first be a disciple. And I'm thankful for the men who first discipled me. I can remember meeting with them and things that they would have me read and them holding me accountable. But it was amazing, not long after I became a Christian, they began to ask me, so who are you going to disciple? And I'm like, well, what are you talking about? I'm just beginning this journey myself. They said, no, you're ready. God's called you to make a disciple. If you're just a little bit farther along than someone else, you can disciple them. So I thought, all right, well, I started a Bible study at my fraternity house, and didn't know what I was doing. I just printed off a list of Bible verses and take them in, and we would talk through those Bible verses and discuss them. And God used that. If someone who was a little younger than me showed up at the church, or someone who hadn't been following Jesus for very long, I would say, hey, do you want to catch up for a coffee? And I would begin to meet with them regularly and help them to grow in their relationship with God. And it got to the point where at the start of every week, I would think, okay, well, who am I going to disciple this week? Who am I going to catch up with? It became like one of my spiritual disciplines. I need to read the Bible, I need to pray, and I need to make a disciple. And you know, it was amazing. We're looking back on that, and I can see how much more quickly I began to grow in my own relationship with God. The more I poured to other people, the more God poured into me. You know, have you ever seen a stagnant pond? Layer of green slime on the top, smells bad, no life in it. Why? Because there's an inflow of water, but there's no outflow. But a lake or a pond where water flows in and then water flows out, it's full of life, it's healthy, it's clean. This is what our own lives are like spiritually. God expects us, as he pours into us, to pour into other people, to help other people to grow. Whether that's leading a small group or meeting with someone one-on-one. If we truly want to follow Jesus and truly grow in our relationship with him, we need to be making disciples, helping other people to follow him. Many people mistakenly believe that it's the pastor's job or the church leader's job to make disciples, and that can't be further from the truth. Ephesians 4 makes it very clear that Jesus gives gifts to the church, apostles, prophets, evangelists, pastors, teachers, to equip God's people for works of ministry. And so it's all of our jobs as Christians to minister and to make disciples. It's the church leader's job to equip. And so all of us, no matter how long or how short of a time that we've been following Jesus, all of us are called to make disciples. That is what we mean by making disciples isn't an option. So thanks for watching. Next week, we'll be talking about our fourth kingdom culture value, which is miracles are normal. We'll see you soon.